Welcome back to federal taxation class, and today we take up lesson number 5. Our learning objectives for this lesson are a little bit longer, 5 of them. First of all, we'll start out with a definition of the term gift tax. What is a gift tax? And we'll describe the gift tax formula. And item number 3, understand the gift tax return form, a separate form which is available for that. Learning objective number 4, we will describe the estate tax return formula. Estate and gift are very similar, but they are distinct. The estate tax is one that's due after the death of the taxpayer and owner of the property, which is called the estate. And finally, learning objective 5 will define generation skipping tax. Interesting concept. The reading assignment is really brief this time. Read the contents on U.S. taxation, book number 1, taxpayer penalty, which will be found on page 46, and taxpayer liability, also on page 46, and of course this video. The lesson activity includes 4 discussion questions that we will take up in class. These are available for credit if you attend class, by simply indicating that you discussed them in class with the rest of us and that you will receive credit. If you are absent, of course, we require that you write a brief answer to each of these discussion questions as part of your contribution to the topic. Discussion question number 1 is to discuss the deductible items in calculations of taxable gifts. So when giving gifts, a large part of that is tax deductible, and with the exception of very, very large gifts, frankly, the deductible covers the entire tax. So gift tax is only applied when we're talking about many thousands of dollars. But we'll take a look at the exact definitions there. Discussion question number 2 is to define the term gift splitting and discuss the advantages of gift splitting. If recollection serves, this splitting issue means to engage in giving a gift over time in the form of annual installments, each of which is covered by the deductibles. So splitting up a large gift into smaller gifts and giving it over time makes sense. A lot of taxpayers are not aware of this, but because at the end, the estate becomes taxable, so older taxpayers should bear in mind that if they're going to leave their estate primarily to their children or other family members, that they can do this ahead of time by giving the gift over time rather than allow the entire amount to be transferred upon death, at which point it'll be subject to a tax that could have been avoided. And in this case, we actually have true avoidance because we have the deduction. Item number 3, or discussion question number 3, how to set the basis of property that is acquired by gift. What if you receive something other than cash? We have what's called a basis or a valuation, and how is that set? We'll take a look at the different rules there. It's fairly straightforward, but we want to make sure that you're familiar with those. And then, excuse me, please. Discussion question number 4 is to discuss the estate tax treatment of concurrently held property. Concurrently held is the key word here. We'll examine the meaning of that. What does it mean, concurrent? And this will also result in a potential tax savings. So these optional topics of discussion are at your option. That is, you can come to class or you can choose to write on them. The online quiz, as usual, closes Sunday, and we want to make sure you stay current on all those quizzes. So if you happen to fall behind, please draw my attention to that, since I normally don't go into the quiz section to monitor that. Just the homework or the discussion question section is what we're going to be looking at. So lesson 5 then deals with gifts and estates, and we will mark now entering the second half of the term. It'll be over shortly, and then we'll go into term number 2 for the winter session here at IAU. Looks like we're doing pretty well, and I'd like to see you continue to keep up with your work. Again, this lesson is going to be relatively straightforward without a whole lot of reading, just one single page actually, so we'll spend a little time on vocabulary and context, see what is the larger view of what it is that we're working on, as well as a preview of lessons 6, 7, and 8. How do we wind up this class on taxation? I believe taxation number 3 class, which we're taking now, is the last in the series, and that you have now completed all of the federal tax rules and should be in a position to pass the CPA part of the exam which deals with this, as well as to have the foundation necessary to take a job as a tax preparer with a little bit of supervision, a little bit of experience. You can branch out onto your own and become an independent tax preparer, which pays pretty well, because if there's one thing people like to do, it's to hire somebody to do something that they don't like to do. And those things are funerals and taxes, death and taxes. Nobody likes those, so they always represent good employment opportunities, a good independent agency, independent entrepreneurial opportunities for the ambitious student. Looking forward to seeing you in class Tuesday night, and make sure you bring along a hard copy of both the lesson plan and the one reading page. See you then.